Welcome to podcast number 18. Buongiorno, I am David, and this is Vinny the Pitbull. So, Espresso with Vinny, podcast 18. I want you to understand something about dogs that most people don't touch and what makes them innately feel insecure or frustrated. Many clients have these scenarios with dogs where they're peeing and marking randomly outside around the house, but then they do it inside. They never stop pacing. They're moving. That anxiety I've seen in dogs. Many dogs feel imbalanced. They don't feel at peace. They don't know how to just breathe and be calm with their owners because the owners are duplicating an environment that they weren't meant to live in, meaning not because where your sofa is or where the icebox is. What they're feeling is that if they don't come into the world with two critical things, don't ever forget this about dog training, two critical things. You must have a sense of where you're coming from as bringing a dog into the house. A dog is looking for leadership. They must have leadership. What does that mean? Because some people are like, they can't even understand what my words are, leadership anymore. You must show that you are strong, like physically strong. You must be able to pull the dog to you when the dog argues with you and says, no, I'm being passive aggressive, I'm not going. Or the dog is like constantly wandering and you're so worried about hurting their neck and personality and all this BS I hear all the time. Pull the dog, pull it. But this is what happens. This is what the clients do. There's no what we call like spark in their blood. When I talk, I have energy. I have enthusiasm. The dog doesn't see this in the owner. It does not feel like the owner should ever be the leader making a decision. Capiche? Their dog must feel you have some vitality in your blood, high energy. You know how to walk and get going. If the dog is arguing with you because it's interested in something to eat off the ground as a puppy, or it sees another dog barking, it doesn't matter. You have to be strong. When you're talking about being a strong leader also, it also means you project your voice. You know how to say, sit, not sit. You see the difference? And I've said it many times, dogs bark at each other all the time in kennels and at the dog parks and from one dog across the street to the other or between fence. Well, they're not getting mentally damaged from this. How many times have I heard rescues just do the typical weak person sheep repetition of what they heard and read? Oh, don't ever yell. We don't know where these dogs came from. And you could really damage them. But yet the dogs have no problem barking at each other loud. No common sense society as we see. So understand strength in voice. Project from your diaphragm. Talk to the dog and mean it. Come. Don't be like, okay. If that's you, I still don't understand why these people still have kids and get dogs. I really don't. Now that we can have an excuse to a point, when we didn't know better. Now I'm telling you better. This is number one, okay? Number two is the job. The dog must have a job. The dog must feel like, do I bark at the door? Do I run when I hear the doorbell? If someone walks behind me in the street right now, does my dog turn and pivot and growl and like, or bark next to me? And that's a job. I'm not mad about the dog doing that. The dog's protecting me. Does the dog feel like it has to listen to my commands immediately with some urgency? Meaning I don't say it 1, 2, 3 times and get the little food out. I never give Vinny the food like that. Vinny just eats with me because I'm eating. It's a group socialization when we eat. I want the dog to feel the job function because without the job function, number 2 on that list, the dog doesn't feel like it belongs to a pack, and it is a mammal. It needs to be part of a pack. The dogs need to feel the power of the pack uniting. So when you are strong as the leader and you also engage the dog into a stay, and I can walk back into the restaurant right now and get another coffee, that dog understands its job is to wait and guard my table and my cannoli and my coffee. Okay? The dog is now performing for me and we have a relationship. Other than just baby talking all day, get the cookie, baby, eat the cookie all day, cookie. Mm-hmm. No, they don't need to have their egos pumped. They need, number one, leader, strong voice, strong arm and pull, let's go. And number two, they need to feel like a job function. Inside the house, jobs. Stay off my carpet. Don't go up my stairs. Don't go on my bed, go on your bed. Follow me around the house. Then I hear everyone say, can't I? Then I hear people say, can't I play with my dog? I didn't say you don't play with the dog. First of all, a dog's job is for them is play. I want you to know that. But if you want to get a ball and a frisbee and toss it around, the dog still sees it as a job. Grab it, bring it back to you, or go just grab it and pick it up and run around with it in its mouth. Dogs see work and play pretty much on the same level. There's no monetary payoff they're thinking like we do. So those two things bring stability into the dog's brain. Okay, so I hope you understand that you do a dog no favor by just being out of energy and not defining work for these little guys. Okay. Next wonderful job that I have. Okay, guest appearance today, special treat. It is a rare breed. It is called a perro de Presa Canario de las Islas de España. Es una historia muy interesante que, sorry, you hit SP. You hit SP. You got to bring it back to English. Okay. So it's a Presa Canario from the islands of Spain. He's a big kid. These guys grow, 115 to 140 pounds. Now, the mix that made these cannot really be defined. During the 1500s, the conquistadors and the first ships were arriving out in the islands, the Canary Islands of Spain. And when they went there, they started taking several Mastiff type breeds, Molosser breeds, as I discussed, from Central Asia that originally came along that silk trading route from the days of the Greeks, Alexander the Great, and then brought them through Europe. So this big dude, he was originally mix of different Molosser type Mastiff Bull Terrier Bulldog breeds. What happened was it went almost to the point of extinction. So by the 1960s, there were not a whole lot of these guys left. So what they did is in 1982, they got together, meaning the Spanish government breeders of the standard, and created and agreed to the new standard. By 1989, they had pretty much brought the breed back to what they believed the standard was. They had a few of these dogs left, so they knew what it was. So yes, we could tell you they have some interesting bull, terrier, mastiff mixes in them. Now, jaw pressure is about a 550-pound bite on these guys. Pretty damn good, strong bite, agile. Not a good family dog. Okay, they're a good family dog for you when you have just a few people and not a lot of visitors. That's why I'm saying not a good family dog. Those would be good to your family. But like putting these two guys' heads close together could easily break into a fight. Okay? These guys really, really get dominant. I've got him well enough trained where this big dude, he'll sit here with me and he's not bothered by Vinny being this close. But if I started getting them head to head, I probably would get myself in trouble where I'd have to jump in. Yeah, is that big guy? Hey, show him your pearly whites. I always like that. Come here. Look at those big pearly whites. Now, if you remember, there was a case back in San Francisco where this dingbat lady bought two of them and would just let them run around in the apartment complex loose. And another lady went to go get her mail, and unfortunately, she lost her life. And that lady, now the owner, is 15 years in jail for that because two of these Cane Corsos ripped her to pieces. So, like any dog, this type of guardian, the type of mastiff bite, they're used for in the old days for guardian and dog fighting. You do not go get one of these if, again, I told you those two things. You need to be strong leader and how to pull leash. Yeah, huh? Yeah, buddy. And you gotta project your voice strong and not tolerate crap from the animal. And you need to give the dog a job. You don't do those two things, you shouldn't have a pit bull and you shouldn't have one of these big guys. Okay? He's lovable. I get along with him great. I can own one. Most of you cannot. This is not the pet quality. I go a little crazy when I hear people go, I want the dog Argentino, the Argentinian dogo dog. Oh, I want to get a pity. You know, and then you jumped off. Come on, babes. So you cannot constantly get these breeds that require strength, mental strength, stamina, determination. You can't be one of those people that's constantly worried about your neighbors, what they think when you give a dog like this a hard correction. You know, forget about the weak people. The weak people, just Darwinism, baby. These dogs are meant for strong people. Off, quiet. They started to do eye contact. He started to get a little serious. His breathing slowed down. So I'm always good. Off, quiet, gentle. I have to say something before his brain makes a decision. And he's back to being friendly. But you've got to understand triggers. It's a lot of maintenance. You don't throw these two dogs into your backyard and say, let them play and figure it out. Maybe even if they were raised together, they would have their limitations. Okay? So a daily regimen with a dog like this type of dog, Presa Canario, you do not throw him around your neighbor's kids coming around. You have to realize this dog will always be very protective and guardian type in personality. He's a young pup, so what they take a good 3 years to mature. He'd be a great dog for somebody who understands this is going to be your hobby. It's not something that's secondary that you just throw into the yard. They've got to go places with you. They got to do things with you. If you've got kids, make sure they're older and larger kids that can handle them and bond with him. They are a very affectionate breed. They do bond with their owners and their family. So this is the upside of the breed. But it's not someone who has a lot of house guests. You don't have the maid walk around with this dog walking free either. Anybody lifting something could trigger this dog to become protective. There are a lot of high energy in these guys. And training them requires probably at least 3 hours a day of doing activities with them to keep them happy. I hope you enjoyed my podcast today. I try to make it entertaining and bring in different guests. And in this case, this Presa Canario is a very rare breed, so I thought it would be interesting to tell the history of it. And we're back to more episodes and more fun times with Vinny. Arrivederci. Thank you for attending my podcast. And until next time, I'll look for more special guest appearances, different breeds, different subjects, and I hope you find my content interesting. Ciao. From Espresso with Vinny.